What are y'all thoughts about dating down?
It means a woman has overestimated her options and who she pulls.
If you can't get it, you're not dating down. That's what you can get.
Is the concept real? It is. The problem that I have, though, is that a lot of women who use it are not qualified to use it.
I don't necessarily think it's a real thing. I think that we've actually made it a thing because we're now trying to be like everybody else without recognizing historical context of where we are and where we were.
There was one last topic that I really did want to talk about. This is just off the cuff. If y'all got a few more minutes for your boy. What are y'all thoughts about women who be looking down on niggas being like, yo, I don't date down? What are y'all thoughts about dating down when y'all hear black women say it? Let's start with the men a little bit. Sorry, S&M. We're going to let you just chill for a little bit and see if you can respond to this energy. Devin, you want to start? Jay? Women who be dating down. What the fuck does dating down mean in the first place, yo?
I think dating down means a woman has overestimated her options and who she pulls. I think that if the fact that a woman has to tell herself she doesn't want to date down suggests that she's having trouble pulling the guy she thinks that she is entitled to. If you were getting them, you wouldn't even be out here dating no more. So maybe you're aiming a little high. You know, if you're shooting a rifle, you got to adjust the sights. If you out trying to get a meal, on Sunday, you want chicken, okay? Guess what? You can't get Chick-fil-A. You got to go somewhere else to get you a chicken sandwich, okay? Or starve, lady. Let me tell you something. There's a whole lot more people out here trying to get chicken than the people that's serving chicken. Devin told you at the beginning of the show. So, yeah, there's no such thing. Dating down is dating a guy you don't respect. That's a bad idea. That's a bad idea. But his height, his money, where he lives, is not necessarily dating down, right? Maybe your standards are too high. Maybe you don't deserve what you've been trying to get. That's all I'm saying.
Jay just stole all of my shit right there. Yeah, I mean, it's what's in proximity to you. If it's not in your proximity, if you can't get it, you're not dating down. That's what you can get. If I get the choice, if I want a Ferrari, but I can afford a 2015 Honda Civic, I'm not driving down. This is what I can get. You know, a lot of times what it is the guy you want to commit, he won't commit to you. But the guy who will commit to you, you don't really want him. So like, I'm going to go with it. So I'm kind of dating down. Is it really dating down? Because you couldn't get the lit nigga with the 6-pack abs and, make $150 million a minute. You couldn't get him to begin with. So is it really dating down? I think what happens is they will sleep with the guy who they really want to commit. He'll sleep with them and they think, oh, that's my level now. That's my dating level now. No, you just got cracked by that guy. That's not your relationship level. Mm-hmm. They get stuck there. So now they're like, okay, well, I slept with, I don't know what is Drake or Future, whatever, but I can't get them to commit. So now I'm dealing with Jeremy from accounting because that's what I'm getting. So now I'm in her head, she's dating down. I think that's what it is.
She had sex with one football player at Florida State, and now she thinks she only dates NFL guys.
Right.
That's her standard now.
That's her standard now.
She caught one Hail Mary, and she thinks she just scored touchdowns every time she's on the field. I got you. You want me to go S&M, or do you want to go?
Let me let you go so I can say what I want to say, but go ahead.
I'm going to let you have the last word. How about that for once? Is that cool?
Yeah, go ahead.
Overdrive? Okay, we'll do that a little something different. Let S&M have the last word. So it sounds like my fellas over here does not believe in the concept even. Like people just use it as a means or excuse for not being able to find that nigga, right? And I'm here to tell y'all are wrong. Y'all are wrong, right?
Okay.
And here's why it's fucked up. Because I agree with y'all and I disagree with y'all at the same time. Is the concept real? It is, right? Like, could a woman say, hey, dating him would be dating down for me, right? Like, because where her station may be legitimately, I'm not talking about whether she has a man or not. I'm saying, can a woman say that this man who might be interested in dating me, if I were to date him hypothetically, it would be dating down? Now, it depends on from what perch she would say that. Now, if it's a single woman saying that, then I agree with y'all, right? Because like, damn, bitch, you ain't got nobody, right? But what if she's not? What if she is someone who legitimately has station, she got the life, and she's just kind of casually making the observation that, hey, if I were to date him, I'd be dating down, which is why I think the concept does exist. The problem that I have, though, is that a lot of women who use it are not qualified to use it. right? Because to your point, if she ain't got nobody, it's like, well, girl, well, no, I'm gonna give her a little bit of grace because she didn't say marry down. She said date down, right? So in her
Right.
mind, she's saying, you know what, this person is not even worthy of dating me. Now, if that's her prerogative and she ends up single, then that's her Bobby Brown. You know, it's the way that she wants to live. Okay.
Now I
But
get it.
so that's the conundrum that I have because more often than not, the people who are saying it, we can find cracks in their argument to where we would instantly disqualify them from being able to say it, right? I would say like 90%, right? But there's still that 10, right? Because the women who are better stationed and in loving relationships with men that they respect wouldn't even think about the concept of dating down for real, right? Because never really had to, maybe, right? They just don't think about it in that context, right? I'll be honest, at least a lot of the married women that I know, they're awesome. And what's crazy is that they're also humble at the same time, right? So in their minds, this idea of dating down, it's like they're just not the type of people who have to look down on people like that. So when I hear a lot of women saying it, it's almost like, to y'all point, I think it's a little bit deeper. These are these women's way of lashing out. They can't lash out at the guy that they respect because they respect him. You know what I'm saying? And they feel bad about themselves because they can't get that guy. They feel inadequate. So the only way that they can feel better about themselves is to blame somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Just shift it over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least I'm worthy to somebody. The nigga who want me don't want me. Oh, I feel worthless, but at least I'm better than these niggas. I feel better again. You know what I'm saying? Which is
Punching
why,
down.
unfortunately, so many Black women suffer from depression. You talked about the weight thing earlier. Like, sorry. So I'm gonna stop there. SNL, the floor is yours.
So yeah, so I think there's a misconception when we talk about dating down, and I think there's a misconception as far as from the men perspective and the women perspective. Men, when they talk about dating down, they're saying that they're looking down their nose, right? Whereas when women, when they're talking about dating down, they may be talking about the social caste system that we currently have in place that folks don't really recognize or acknowledge for the most part. But I think in the Black community, when we talk about dating down, it's actually a non-factor because there's clear cases where we in the Black community, depending on where your station was or is, we don't even have enough generational wealth to claim that we're dating down in the first place. And I think that some of the things that some folks name, like Jay, as an example, when he talked about height and so forth, that's not actually dating down, that's preference, right? So there's a difference between dating down and preference. When I think of dating down, I think of caste system or class system when we talk about in the US. Now, in this particular case, when we say dating down and you find all these women who are technically, I won't even say all, you have some women who may consider themselves white collar professional who date blue collar dudes. And that would be considered dating down because they're a white collar professional. Now, in every other race, for the most part, there's always an expectation that the women date up. So the expectation is to date up, as in date somebody who's smarter, has more money, and so forth, so that the woman can come up as well. So when a woman does it, and unfortunately, because we're actually behind when it comes to generational wealth in some cases, in most cases, when a woman does it, it's like, hey, well, can I start here? Can I start looking at dating up? Because that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to date up. However, as I stated in our particular case, I think dating down is actually, I don't necessarily think it's a real thing. I think that we've actually made it a thing because we're now trying to be like everybody else without recognizing historical context of where we are and where we were. So with that being said, the entire dating down, I'm going to say take a chance. If you believe you're up here and this person is down here, and to be honest, why are we saying this person down here unless we're talking about social economics? Because that person can be up here when it comes to emotional intelligence and other things that they have to bring to the table, then you wouldn't be dating down because they're satisfying a requirement and a need that you have that you may not even was aware, but you knew you was missing in your life, which is why you're attracted to them in the first place. But if you walk around saying, oh, I dated down, then you must clearly be speaking about social economic class versus the other qualities that will cause you to find attraction in somebody else and make that person your person.
If you're dating someone that requires you to lower your standard of living, then you probably are dating down.